The biggest question is, why are we wanting to extract and use these materials? What are the uses of these minerals? Let's find out. Now, minerals for gems are hard set in jewelry. For example, diamonds, gold, silver, they are used to make jewelry. Copper is used to make coins and pipes, and also wires, which are very good conductor of heat and electricity. All the wiring that you see around you is somehow made up of copper only. Silicon is used in computer industry and it is obtained from quartz. Aluminium extracted from its ore bauxite. Bauxite is the ore of aluminium and it is used in automobiles to form the cars, the vehicles that we drive, aeroplanes, bottling industry, buildings and cookware. Now, how can we conserve these minerals? We are extracting these minerals at a very high speed, but how can we conserve them? Otherwise, they will just become extinct and vanish. So, in order to conserve minerals, first we need to understand that there are certain minerals which are non-renewable, and minerals are non-renewable in nature, that they cannot be renewed over 1,000 periods and they cannot be renewed fast. Minerals take thousands and millions of years to be formed, and the concentration of minerals, if once disturbed, cannot be restored. The rate of formation of minerals is smaller than the rate of humans consuming these minerals. Therefore, there is a need to reduce the wastage in the process of mining, recycling of metal, whatever we are finding, and another way is to rebuild things from whatever material we already have. Now, let's talk about power resources. What are the resources which are used to generate power? Now, power or energy plays a vital role in our lives. We also need power for industry, agriculture, service sector, transportation, communication, defense, etc. To sit in our home, we can't sit without electricity or power, can we? We can't study if you do not have any power. You would not be able to watch this video, isn't it? So, power is extremely important. Now, power resources may be broadly classified into two types: conventional, the traditional methods that we have been using since long time, and the non-conventional resources which have been there but their usage is new to the society. So, let's discuss them in detail. Now, let's first talk about conventional sources. These resources refer to the resources that we have been using since a very long time. The use of these resources is very common, such as fossil fuel, firewood, etc. Now, firewood, the wood that we use, is widely used for cooking and heating, and 50% of the energy or power which is generated in villages and rural areas comes from firewood. Now, apart from this, fossil fuels were also used as power resource. The remains of dead plants and animals which are buried underneath the earth millions of years ago got converted into heat and pressure, and that converted into fossil fuels. Fossil fuels such as coal, petroleum and natural gas are the main sources of conventional energy. If you observe, we use coal very often to produce electricity, even in India. Recently, we discussed that there is a scarcity of coal happening, and thus the power outage started to take place. Why was that so? Because if there was no coal, no electricity could be produced. So, therefore, it is important to conserve these kind of natural resources. Here is an image of a woman carrying out firewood in North India. Now, let's take a view of a thermal power station. Now, coal is one such mineral or fossil fuel which is used to generate heat and electricity. And this was abundantly found in all over the world. This is used as not only for industrial purposes, for also domestic fuel. Industries such as iron and steel, they used to use it for production of goods and services. Steam engines which were used in previous time used coal in order to flourish the power, to generate electricity. Whenever coal is used to generate electricity, the electricity or the power generated from that is known as thermal power. Thermal refers to heat. So when electricity is generated from the heat by burning coal, that is known to be as thermal energy. The coal was formed after a process and pressure of millions of years. Giant ferns, swamps, and dead and decaying animals got buried under the layers of the earth, and under pressure and climatic conditions it got turned into coal. Coal is also therefore known as buried sunshine. The leading producers of coal are China, USA, Germany, Russia, France, South Africa. And in India, parts of Raniganj, Jharia, Dhanbad, Jharkhand and Bokaro are rich in coal resources. Now, next is petroleum. Petroleum, as we know, is one of the biggest resources that we use in our day-to-day lives. The word petroleum is derived from the word petra, meaning rock, and oleum, meaning oil. So, rock oil or the oil derived from rock is known as petroleum. So, petrol keeps our car running. Whenever there is no electricity, there were lanterns that we used to light using kerosene oil. That also comes from petroleum. This is a type of resource that by squeaking both began as a thick black liquid and petroleum was found. Now this is found between the layers of the rock, and the process of drilling helps in extraction of petroleum oil. So this process is mainly done in offshore land and coastal areas because the seabed is very rich in petroleum deposits. A variety of products are then derived from petroleum, such as petrol, diesel, kerosene, wax, plastics, lubricants, etc. Petroleum and its derivatives are called as black gold, and in today's time when the prices of petrol and diesel are becoming so high, of course it is not less than gold. So now let's talk about crude oil. Crude oil is also one byproduct of petroleum. Now, chief petroleum producing areas in the world are Saudi Arabia, Qatar, USA, Russia, Venezuela, Algeria, and in India we have Digboi in Assam, Bombay High in Mumbai, and deltas of Krishna and Godavari rivers. Now, let's talk about natural gas. Found with petroleum deposits. Natural gas does not have any other deposit, but it is rather found with petroleum deposits. When crude oil is released, out of which we form petroleum, there is a layer of gas which appears on the surface. This is known as natural gas. This is used for domestic purposes and in industrial fuel also. Major producers of natural gas are Russia, Norway, UK and Netherlands. In India, Jaisalmer, Krishna Godavari Delta, Tripura are some areas, and offshore Mumbai have natural gas resources. Now, there is a cause of concern here, however. A sharp increase in our consumption of fossil fuels is making these fuels disappear from the earth. There are toxic pollutants which are being released by burning of these fuels, and this is causing pollution. This has led to taping of various non-conventional sources of energy that were once cleaner and alternatives to fossil fuel. One such non-conventional resource of energy is hydel power. When rainwater or river water stored in dams and reservoirs is released, it moves with a lot of pressure. That energy and pressure is thus used to generate electricity. When power or electricity is generated through the force of water, it is known as hydel power. Now, there is a whole process of it. As the water flows at a very good speed, the turbine located in the power plant starts to rotate at the bottom, and as the blades move, the generator it starts to produce electricity. This is known as hydroelectricity. Water discharged after the generation of electricity is thus used for irrigation and consumption purposes. 1/4 of world's electricity is produced by hydel power. Leading producers of Hydel or hydroelectricity are Paraguay, Norway, Brazil and China. Important stations in India are Bhakra Nangal Dam, Ganji Sagar, Nagarjung Sagar, Damodar Valley projects. Now, this is a diagram which shows us how it works. Now, this water, it is flown and this turbine starts to flow, and this is a generator which transforms the power into electricity. This electricity is then dispersed towards the city through connection of wires.